Former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice reportedly stepped in to quash an action plan to stop Russian meddling in the 2016 election.
National Security Advisor of President Obama tells them to stand down, back off. It's as indefensible as it is incomprehensible.
Most Americans care whether or not their country and their lives are improving, and they are. President Trump's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, and he's getting the results.
Well,
and that really matters.
Of the Obama White House, Susan Rice is back. There's a new book coming out that basically says that she told the White House cyber team to, quote, knock it off when they floated various tough options to go after Russian meddling in the 2016 election. This is fascinating because all we keep hearing is two things: that Donald Trump as a candidate was colluding with the Russians. We don't have any evidence of that yet, number one. And number two, we're hearing Donald Trump as president hasn't done anything to stop Russian aggression heading into the midterms. Now this book is suggesting, wait a second, the Obama people knew this was going on and didn't do anything.
So Susan Rice and President Obama must, talk about this, because remember his famous strategy. He said that he called Putin and said, or he told Putin to knock it off. The same words that she used.
Yes, that's
you
a good
remember
point.
that?
That's
knock
right.
it off. This is not how you handle these kinds of situations. And I'll say that, the more we know, the more we're learning about the Obama administration, the more we're seeing that they probably could have done more.
That's exactly
to stop
right.
this.
They didn't think it would have an impact on the outcome of the election. They also, most importantly, thought Hillary Clinton was going to win the election and it wouldn't ultimately matter. Now it's coming back that when it mattered the most, the Obama team did not take on the Russians in their attempt to meddle in our elections. That's very different than collusion. Well, Joel Rosenberg, he's the author of The Kremlin Conspiracy, says it's almost incomprehensible that the National Security Advisor, Susan Rice, for Obama, did nothing to stop the meddling. Listen.
It is incomprehensible that in the midst of a presidential campaign, a general election, that a national security advisor would tell a team of people dealing with Russian attacks, aggressive attacks. They were relentlessly hitting us from every possible direction. And this team of government officials were trying to figure out, A, how to stop it, then how to counter it, then possibly how to punish the Russians to make sure they would stop it for good. The national security advisor of President Obama tells them to stand down, back off, and essentially in the end they did practically nothing.
They knew that the Russians were targeting multiple states, specifically swing states. I will say, to be fair, Ed, which I do every once in a while.
Yeah, I like hearing that.
They probably thought that if they went too hard in one direction, there would be perceived to be a political motive.
Right,
but
and that they were helping Hillary Clinton.
That they could have been helping Hillary Clinton.
So there is something to be said for the administration, the Obama administration, trying to figure out how do we do this. Also, this book is saying that Susan Rice felt like if we struck back too hard against Russia on the eve of the election, it might inflame it to the point that they might do more damage to our election.
The point is you got to do something. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think conservatives would be a lot more understanding of what happened during the Obama years if the Obama administration hadn't had his fingers so much in trying to say that Trump colluded with the Russians.
Correct. That's exactly right.
Where
if they
the
didn't then boomerang it back around and say, no, Trump was actually doing it.
Another thing the president talked about in the campaign was this double standard where Hillary Clinton and the email server was not secure, and yet there was this Navy sailor